Hello, everyone. I am joined here at Money 2020 by John from KeyBank and John from IBM.
Jon Briggs, I lead commercial product and innovation here at KeyBank.
And I'm John Duigenan. I'm the global industry leader of the financial services industry in IBM Technology.
When we're thinking about customer interaction visibility between your CRM and your core banking system, how do you address those challenges? What are some of those challenges?
Yeah, I'll even layer in another incremental layer of complexity into the equation. So I would first start by, if you think about how banking is evolving, like you're absolutely seeing a confluence of technology and financial services coming together. All the experiences that we enjoy every day as consumers are starting to bleed into the commercial side of banking, changing expectations of our customers, and to be able to meet some of those changing expectations, we actively partner with a number of fintechs to augment our set of core capabilities, and that introduces challenges in terms of how we think about the servicing apparatus to be able to meet those clients' needs. So we've done things that give you an example of a company we partner with called Ovation CXM, and really what they're there to help us do is that intersection that you just described of that your CRM, your core banking platform, and all of our third parties. How do you normalize the client interaction model and client experience across all those different, not only the different channels, but different platforms and systems? So it's been, I think at Key, we're doing a phenomenal job of it, and I think we're ahead of the curve, but it's a challenge that's not unique to just KeyBank. It's every bank out there.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. And that's exactly what we see too, John. We see the expectations around customer journeys in huge transition, right? Beautiful consumer experiences across all kinds of technology change the way that our clients of every kind, when the clients of banks, whether they are consumers, whether they are small businesses, whether they are large corporates, they're now expecting a consumer experience. And the role that existing technology, for example, the mainframe core system plays, it's more relevant than ever, but this core technology needs to be adaptive through all sorts of techniques to new customer journeys. So we wholeheartedly agree with you, and you are an innovator on that journey.
Well, that's actually a great point. So let's talk about the integration of CRM with your core banking and payment system that's powered by IBM Z. To John's point, how has that improved the customer experience and engagement? Let's go through a few examples, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would first, ground us in what is the customer expectation? Like they think of when they come to KeyBank, they're not coming to interact with our merchant services team. They're not coming to interact with our core banking platform team. They're coming to interact with KeyBank. So their mindset is singular in terms of the bank, and they believe, the expectation is a singular platform, right? But as you guys know well, KeyBank, like other banks, we've been built over 200 years. There's a lot of technology in place, a lot of different platforms, and for us to be able to meet that customer experience, we've got to start to stitch things across, all those different internal KeyBank silos to deliver a singular customer experience. So we're doing things, to give you a tangible example of leveraging software capability like Ovation CXM as an example to augment our servicing folks. Like there is, if you think about banking and payments in general, an enormous amount of complexity in there, and it's a lot of knowledge that's required to be able to answer clients' questions when there's some servicing issue. And so we're using the technology not only to route quickly to the point of resolution, but also curate knowledge efficiently for our servicing teams so that they can remediate the issue as quickly as possible.
Oh, yeah.
So if we take that, right, talking about the customer experience, the customer journey, and then you bring in capabilities such as the journey orchestration, having insights that's driven by AI, how has that influenced your ability to, let's say, tailor services to individual customer journeys and also at the same time improve operational efficiency?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of my favorite analogies that I use in banking is as consumers. Have you ever ordered a pizza from Domino's and the Domino's pizza tracker? Right, you place your order. You know that the order's been received. You know when that pizza's is being boxed up, put in the car, when it's in transit, estimated time of delivery. That same expectations we have as consumers ordering pizza, that exists in financial services, right? And it's all about being able to set expectations, provide transparency into where clients are in the journey, and the ability to make that hyper personalized, right? And so that's something where we are focused on in terms of normalizing that experience for our customers, regardless of the service that they're buying and how it's who it's ultimately coming from how it's being delivered.
I love that thought process, John. I think about this a lot. I think every one of our financial services clients is on a customer experience journey across their entire product set, across their entire client set. And this becomes vital because oftentimes the definition of client experience is limited simply to hyper-personalization. And I'd argue that for all sorts of data reasons, many firms are not doing so well. They don't have the technology, like you mentioned, that opens up existing technology and existing data sources like the mainframe to include it in new customer journeys and new client experiences. When I think about client experiences in the broad, in the pizza example, it's Wednesday night. I get a text message saying, do you want this pizza that we know you love, right? I get the same kind of message from the innovative financial services firms that I work with that say, we can see you've just arrived in Vegas. We know that when you're in Vegas, these are the things you want to do, John. And here's a simple way to make that happen. So the need has been anticipated, right, and offered. Again, that's not exactly new school, it's old school. People have been doing it for years, but it's the way everything gets packaged. And typically the way customer experience works best or greatest is when the entire friction from start to finish has been removed.
And I think to that point, I think at Key we're excited about the prospects of what AI can offer.
Oh, yes.
Right. But I think it's a journey to be able to get there. And you just hit on back to your modernization question. If you bring it back to that point, AI requires an enormous amount of data, to be able to power it.
Absolutely.
Good news is banks have an enormous amount of data. It just lives in our core systems.
Indeed.
It lives in other
Thank you for that.
silos. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Yeah, and so I think that's got to be a big part of the journey of how do you expose that data, begin to curate it, to be able to leverage it to deliver on those personalized experiences.
Yeah, and Theo, there's an interesting data point. I must get this right, so I'm going to open my book for a second. We just released a study, an institute, IBM Institute for Business Value study, on this very topic. And the title of it is Mainframes as Mainstays of Digital Transformation. This is highly relevant to John's conversation here and the journey that KeyBank have been on. We surveyed 250 senior executives in financial services firms around the world. And the numbers are very consistent across banking, financial markets, and insurance, the broad plethora of financial services. It's outstandingly relative to other industries. Across all of the questions, we see the pattern of at least 80% of executives believe that mainframes are essential to digital transformation because they are, as John said, where the data is. That being able to modernize and use mainframes in new ways, for example, the data access layer, the API layers, bringing DevOps to the mainframe, and agile development to the mainframe. These are essential techniques that all of our clients are on. using AI to transform the code base and use that code base in new ways and expose it to a new talent pool of developers who can use that code in new ways. So that's what our clients are saying in that survey. And it's highly relevant because from IBM's point of view, we want the mainframe to be a vital part of our clients' data ecosystem. It's there for reliability, security, availability, and throughput, as it has been for 50 years. But we can't rest on our laurels and say the past is the past. We have to make those core technologies available for the future, and equally maximize KeyBank and other innovative financial services firms their ability to use AI on the platform and off the platform in a hybrid way together. So this is very much part of our hybrid cloud and AI strategy.
And John, we just released our middle market survey, and one of the items that came out of there, which I think is fascinating, over half of our middle market clients are starting to think about how they can leverage AI to begin to drive efficiencies in their own business. So this journey is not only one for banks and how do banks get better at this, but we're going to play a role in helping our clients ultimately deliver on this as well, which is exciting.
Yeah, that's visionary thinking. Because you can stay in your existing lane of financial services, or you can be part of a new, bigger platform play where your value is extended to all sorts of places where you didn't traditionally play. And the value that you create for your clients will be tangible on their AI journey, their productivity journey, their customer experience journeys for their clients.
Well, you just said too earlier, John, about the fact that we can use AI to update our code base. That was precisely one of the points that Gary talked about in the address yesterday morning as we kicked off the event, because you're very right. So before I let you both go, I do want to wrap up, since you did venture into the AI space, my favorite topic in here. Can you share with us, how do you think technologies such as AI and hybrid architecture with IBM Z will influence not just your modernization path, but also your goals for customer service? What are some of the other areas you would like to explore with it?
Yeah, for us in terms of the immediate focus, there's the obvious use cases around fraud that I like. I think that the scary thing is fraudsters can leverage AI to be able to commit fraud. So the best way to combat that is by using AI to prevent it or detect it. But outside of that use case, we're really focused on the servicing aspect of our business, and back to what I shared earlier of how do we get answers to our clients faster, to our people on the front lines faster, to drive resolution faster, drive our clients to the point of resolution faster. And we think AI is going to play a big role in helping augment our folks to be able to deliver on that.
Yeah, I agree, Theo. Customer experience, as you said, employee and workforce productivity. Think of the thousands of back office and middle office processes, that many of which are still done by hand and cost a fortune. There's immediate productivity opportunity there. And with code modernization, application development, and IT operations tasks, we know that based upon the work that we've done with financial services already in COBOL, AI helps developers understand COBOL that they've never seen before by describing what it does, how it functions, how it works, then helps them translate to really well-formed Java class hierarchy and Java methods, well-documented, automatically tested. That brings developer productivity improvements to 60%. We've measured that. And that's not an IBM internal number, that's a number that we've measured with clients. And so the AI frontier across every aspect of how businesses service and operate and offer and deliver their products, the opportunity is vast, and we're at the beginning.
Very much so. And in the end, it will also help improve the customer experience, and you can do more. Yep. So that's awesome. Future is bright with AI. May I even say that? Well, thank you so much, John and John, for joining me on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for your partnership.
Absolutely.